94th minute. London Stadium is silent. United are drawing. Champions League dream fading with every second that passes. And then a substitute who has been on the pitch for just 17 minutes does something nobody saw coming.
Bends the cross in. Šeško! Yes! Benjamin Šeško with the last-minute equaliser!
He demands the ball, drives between two centre-backs and buries it. The stadium erupts. But here is what nobody is telling you about that moment. 3 months earlier, the manager of this very club stood in front of the cameras and essentially told the world that Benjamin Sesko was going to struggle.
I'm relaxed. He's not relaxed. What I mean is that I understand how things are in football, and he's going to struggle. That is normal.
That he was not ready. That he did not fit the system. And he was not wrong at the time. But what happened between that press conference and that 94th minute winner is one of the most dramatic, most misunderstood, and most important stories in the Premier League this season. And it starts not with Sesko. It starts with the man who nearly destroyed him. Let us go back, because to understand what Sesko is right now, you first need to understand what he was almost turned into. Ruben Amarim arrived at Manchester United with a vision. A specific, rigid, uncompromising vision of how football should be played. Possession-based, controlled, methodical. A system built around a striker who builds play, who drops deep, who recycles the ball and connects passages of movement, rather than simply hunting chances in the final third. Benjamin Sesko is not that striker. Benjamin Sesko has never been that striker. Benjamin Sesko is a predator, a 6'2", 22-year-old Slovenian weapon who operates in the spaces between defenders, who times his runs with frightening precision, who hits speeds of 35 km/h in full flight, and who, when given the right system and the right freedom, is as dangerous a centre-forward as any team in Europe possesses. Under Amarim, he made 11 starts. He scored 2 goals. 2 goals in 11 starts for a striker who had been one of the most efficient forwards in European football before arriving at Old Trafford. And then one day before Amarim was sacked, the Portuguese manager sat in front of the cameras and said something that told you everything you needed to know. He said Manchester United do not want to be a team built on transitions. He said he wanted control. He said he wanted possession. He was describing exactly the system that was suffocating the most explosive young striker at the club. Amarim was not just losing matches, he was losing players, and Sesko was the most visible casualty. But here is the part that nobody talks about. There was a brief, chaotic, almost forgotten interim period under Darren Fletcher. And in that window, something started to stir. Fletcher shifted away from the 3-4-2-1. And Sesko, suddenly given more freedom to operate in the channels rather than being asked to hold the ball up in a system designed for a different type of player entirely, responded immediately. The problem was always the system. Manchester United were not buying the wrong players. They were handing the right players to the wrong managers. That is the great uncomfortable truth that this entire Sesko story exposes. And it is a truth that runs all the way back through Højlund, through Rashford, through every attacking player who arrived at Old Trafford, with quality and left diminished, confused and doubting themselves in ways they never had before. Then Michael Carrick walked back through the door. And the first thing he did with Benjamin Sesko was put him on the bench. Wait, just stay with that for a second, because this is the detail that explains everything about how Carrick thinks and why his management is so different from everyone who came before him. Any other manager in that situation looks at Sesko's recent form under Fletcher and starts him immediately. Any other manager sees the goals and the energy and the momentum and builds around it. Any other manager prioritizes the short-term result over the long-term transformation. Carrick did not do that. Instead, he went to Sesko privately. He explained the role he needed him to play. He removed the pressure of starting. He gave him a mission that was clear, specific, and completely different from the chaos Sesko had been living inside for months. Come off the bench, be the thing teams cannot prepare for. Be the weapon they do not see coming until it is already too late. And Sesko, to his enormous credit, accepted it completely. Luke Shaw described the change in the dressing room under Carrick as immediate and profound. Carrick understands the club, Shaw said. He knows what it takes to keep everyone happy. That sentence sounds simple, but in a dressing room that Amarim had left toxic, fractured, and deeply demoralized, simple human understanding was the most powerful managerial tool available. Sesko felt it, and he responded, Fulham away. Carrick's third match in charge, United are drawing, the game is dying, and with 17 minutes left, Sesko comes on. 6 minutes later, he misses a clear header with the goal at his mercy. The kind of miss that destroys confidence. The kind of miss that, under Amarim, would never have happened because Sesko would never have been in that position in the first place, but also the kind of miss that tells you a player is alive, aggressive, hungry for the moment, rather than shrinking from it. Carrick does not react. He does not panic. He does not pull Sesko aside with a look of disappointment. He trusts the process he has set in motion. And then it happens. Sesko demands the ball in the chaos of Old Trafford stoppage time. He drives between two centre-backs with the kind of direct, explosive movement that no defender on the planet can adequately prepare for in that moment. And he scores. 94th minute, 3 points saved, unbeaten run preserved. Gary Neville had said he was miles away from Premier League standards. The commentators called it a surprise. But Carrick knew, because Carrick had simply done one thing that Amarim never did. He told Sesko to stop leaving the zone where he kills. That was it. That was the entire tactical secret. Stop asking a predator to be a playmaker. Put him in the spaces where he is lethal and let him hunt. But what happened next is where this story becomes something even more remarkable. Because teams started to adapt, word spread, coaches watched the footage and took notes. Sesko had won 1 game off the bench, then 2, then 3. And by the time Everton arrived with a game plan specifically designed to handle the threat of a late Sesko substitution, by the time David Moyes had set his team in a rigid, compact defensive block and told his players to be ready for the moment the Slovenian came on in the final 10 minutes, something completely different had already happened. Carrick had changed the plan. Instead of waiting until the final 10 minutes, Carrick brought Sesko on earlier than ever before. Not in the 85th minute. Not when Everton were braced and organised and mentally prepared for exactly that scenario. But earlier, when the defensive shape was still expecting something else entirely. When the centre-backs had not yet shifted into the specific mode of concentration that a late Sesko substitution demands. It was a trap. A beautifully constructed, tactically precise trap. And Everton walked straight into it. Matheus Cunha picks up the ball, switches play to Mbeumo. The defensive shape breaks open for just a fraction of a second. And Sesko, running at 35 kilometers per hour, arrives into the space before a single Everton defender can track him. He drives the ball into the net without a trace of panic, without a wasted touch, without a moment of hesitation. Carrick had not just used Sesko as a weapon, he had used Sesko as bait, and then as the executioner. Now let us talk about the numbers, because the numbers are where this story stops being impressive and starts being genuinely frightening for every other team in this league. 7 goals in his last 8 appearances, 6 of those coming off the bench. An average of 1 goal every 49 minutes of playing time. A non-penalty goals per 90 that places him alongside Erling Haaland and Hugo Ekitike, among the 3 most efficient strikers in the entire Premier League. He has already scored more Premier League goals this season than Højlund managed in the whole of last season. He is outperforming his own expected goals by almost a full goal. He has hit the woodwork 3 times, and he has now started earning the right to be in Carrick's first 11 from the very beginning. And what happened when Sesko finally breathed was 7 goals in 8 games. A goal every 49 minutes, wins saved, points rescued, a Champions League dream kept alive. Manchester United have one of the most efficient strikers in the Premier League right now. And the terrifying reality for every team left to face him this season is that he is only just getting started. Amarim said he was going to struggle. Neville said he was miles away from Premier League standards. The pundits questioned the signing. The fans doubted the investment. But Sesko said it himself, it does not matter when I come on. What matters is that I deliver when it counts. He has delivered. He is delivering. And if Michael Carrick keeps his starting place secure and his confidence burning at the levels it is burning right now, then Benjamin Sesko is not just saving Manchester United's season. He might be about to define it entirely, The question is no longer whether Sesko belongs at the top level. That question has been answered emphatically and repeatedly in the most pressure-filled moments this league has to offer. The only question left is this: how many more times is he going to do it before the rest of the Premier League finally accepts that they have a serious problem on their hands?